In the Okihama Chinatown, a man and a woman walked a lonely countryside road, both laughing and chatting amongst themselves. Suddenly, the woman spotted a mysterious figure in the distance, lying on the ground, before tapping her male companion, making him stop. The figure approached the male, tracked in a black kimono, as the male immediately ran up to check to see if he was okay. "Hello, are you right?" The man spoke, his accent Chinese, as gently turned the person over. The unconscious stranger was a young man, perhaps in his mid-20s, with messy black hair. There was no response from the stranger as he only glared. "Is he hurt?" asked his female companion. "Don't know," the man says. Before he could even check for a pulse, the stranger eyes suddenly opened, revealing red blood ones. Could it be? In a blur, the stranger's head shot up and decapitated the man's head as it flew off from his shoulders, causing blood to seep everywhere in a thick spray. It landed back on the road and bounced a few feet or so, rolling until it stopped at the woman's heels. The woman released a blood-curdling screech at her lover's unfortunate death as the man in the black slowly stood up and cracked his neck by tilting his head to the side, staring at the kneeling, headless body in front of him before glaring at her. Suddenly the woman's screams stopped as she was knocked out by another figure standing behind her. The second figure was a young doll-like girl dressed in a janichi, a Chinese hopping vampire, as she slightly glanced at her presumable master. "Take her away and put her with the rest," the demon tells her. The girl nods and did as ordered, picking up the unconscious woman, then left. Looking left and right, the man in black crouched down to reach for the ankles of his decapitated prey, and dragging the body away from the road and into the bushes. "Gotta hurry," you say, running to the polished hallway of the demon-slaying course and Udarashiki's estate. You excitedly came to a stop at the soji door and knocked. "Enter," exclaimed a gentle voice from behind. You did as told and opened the sliding doors open, revealing Udarashiki-sama sitting at a study. "You wanted to see me, Akin?" Yin-chan. "My, that certainly was fast." "Didn't expect you to get my message so quickly," the blind man says. Closing the door behind you, you got on your knees and bowed. "Yes, I came as quickly as I came once I received your message from Fuwa." If you don't remember, Fuwa is a flying door squirrel. You say, never expected a little flying door squirrel to be faster than a Katsuga crow. Udarashiki chuckles, just as Fuwa poked her cute little head from your shirt pocket, squeaking as she did so. Anyways, down to the business matters. Last night there were reports of strange going-ons happening in Yokoyama, Japan, he says. Really? Yes, reports of people gone missing and sightings of strange activity, and all have been occurring in Okihama, Chinatown, Udarashiki explains. Okihama, Chinatown? You question? You really didn't know how Japan had a local Chinatown. Perhaps you really have been living in the frozen mountains for too long. Yes, the residence area of China merchants and immigrants. Anyways, as you may have known, the Hashira are all assigned a specific region and that they are required to patrol, especially to gather information about the demons that may or may not be inhabiting said areas. Thus, I would usually deploy them on missions only if members of lower ranks are unable to complete it, he says. So far, not many of my demon slayers of the rank have completed this mission, but I figured you, with your abilities and skills, could take on Yokoyama Chinatown's case. You've proven that you're far from capable than the others. So I'm sending you to investigate Yokoyama Chinatown. You were godsmacked. Finally! You're going to your first actual mission as a demon slayer! Yes, sir. You can count on me, Akin. You said, this mission may be dangerous, and I can't guarantee you want to encounter an upper moon, so please, do be safe and stay on your absolute guard. Udarashiki says. You nodded before placing a hand over your heart. Yes, and thank you, Okiyatama-sama. I'll do my best. You say. Oh my god, I'm beginning to sound like a lot like Ko, you internally thought. With that, you were dismissed. Once outside, you were greeted and approached by your lover. Kojo had waited for you once you received an instant message from Okiyatama-sama. My love? Kojo, guess what? I finally get to go on my first mission, you say. The flame pillar internally frowned at the news, but was nonetheless proud of you. That's great. When are you leaving? He smiles. No, I'm headed to Okiyama Chinatown to investigate, and I want to be there before nightfall, so I can get some information, you tell him, whilst checking to make sure your spear was sharpened and ready to go. The favorite colored iron steel blade glistening in the sunlight, snowflakes embroidered into its steel and snowflake-shaped guard. But the Hodertama-sama designed personally to suit you as you sheathed it back into its case. You then looked at him and immediately saw worry in his eyes, which was nothing new, before placing a hand on his cheek. He intently leaned into your touch as you stared at him lovingly. Ko, it is okay. I'll be fine. Please have faith in me, you tell him. He sighs, disheartened, and kissed your palm. I do have faith in you, my love, but I cannot help but worry for your safety, he says. I figures as much, but I promise I'll come back. I figured as much, came the voice of Udarashiki-sama. You and Kodoro immediately glanced at the blind leader. Rengoku-san, why don't you go with Yunshan to prove assistance? You two is better than one, after all. By the way, the man from the little thing is not Muzan. Hee hee.